Hey there. Week 1, fallen over, day 5. Day 5, yeah. So we're getting so close to that twisting crow, that side crow. Hopefully throughout the days you've been practicing those little bit of tips. So a lot of wrist mobility, that's really, really important. Being mindful to not overtax the wrists though too. So meaning that you don't want to be on them all the time. So we really need to give them that rest as well, okay? Especially because it tends to be an area where we tend to lose our mobility quite easily. Also that you've been practicing your lying down twisting posture, right? So that we can really get into the nice twist of this pose. Today, what we're going to be focusing on is we're moving back to our core stability. Yes, we've been doing core stability and core strength the whole time because it's a super important aspect of this pose. But today, what we're going to do is standing core poses. You might think, well, how can I stand and use my core? Well, guess what? Standing in your Tadasana, or Tadasana, is actually using your core. So we've been focusing on kind of lifting up through the perineum, when we connect through the belly, connect through the neck a little bit, just the way that we stand. So today that's what it's about. It's about standing poses that focus on our core, but that also focus on the twist as well. Okay, so let's start at the top of our mat. And again, feel free to put any kind of music on that you want, that moves you, that drives you a little bit. So we are going to come onto our mat. Let's place our mat this way, okay? Because we're going to be doing a lot of open hip poses, open hip standing poses, and then twisting as well. But if you're this way, it might work a little better for you. Whatever works. Let's find our mountain pose here again. So standing in our Tadasana, connecting the 4 corners of the feet. So pressing into the big toe ball mound, pinky toe ball mound, in and outer edges of those heels. Spreading our toes nice and wide. Let's lift up our toes. Remember this one. So we can notice how we're placing our feet into the ground, how we have that Pada Bandha, that connection to the earth through our feet. Lifting up through the midline, through those thighs to draw up into the pelvic floor, to draw up, aligning that core. Lowering the toes back down. Let's take our arms, open up our arms. So let's stand here in our mountain pose now for a moment. And let's draw our attention back to our breath. And our breathing practice today is going to be to ground, to not allow our thoughts to take us somewhere else, so that we can just be right here. And we inhale through the nose. We exhale through the nose or mouth. What we focus on is releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. When our tongue is firmly pressed into the roof of our mouth, we might find that we get headaches. Those are indications of overthinking, constantly being in your head, constantly reacting to what am I going to say when she says this to me? What am I going to say here? Having those internal dialogues as well, those internal fights. Release the tongue, come back here. Invite you to set an intention to simply be present in your body, to notice what you feel. When you're ready, let's open our eyes. Let's inhale, rouse the arms to the sky. Exhale, release the arms down. Inhale, rouse. Exhale, release down. One more time. Release down. Let's step our feet out a little bit wider. Draw our toes to our sides. Let's inhale, rise. Exhale, chair. Rise. Exhale, have a seat. So now what I'm going to do is create a little more stability through the core by drawing my elbows towards my hips. You might have to adjust your feet. You might notice feeling a lot of stuff in your knees. So continue to do, these are sunflowers here, continue to do these. What you might notice is if I'm coming down and the knee is out of alignment, it's drawn in from the ankle, the knee should be lined up over those middle toes. So that's where we get a lot more core, that's where we get more of that connection, less in the knees. So just be mindful of that. Continue though to flow up and down.
And this is going to warm our body for what's to come. And now we can add some sunflowers, moonflowers, sunflowers. You'll see. All good. Reach down, gather the flowers. It's a little sunflower, moonflower blend, yoga fit thing. That just really generates some heat through the body, raising our internal core temperature. Focus with your breath. Exhale down, inhale up. One more time. Exhale down, inhale up. Relax your arms out to your sides. Let's turn our palms face down. We're going to come into a warrior two. So this foot here is going to turn towards the wall. Opposite foot is going to turn towards the long edge of the mat, and we find our warrior two. Be mindful again, the knee lined up with those toes. From our warrior two, we're going to come into a side angle. Now, if we're here in our warrior two and we sink, see that little bit of a sink? That's me letting go. It's me letting go of my base. Draw up, lift up. Feel the difference between sinking, lifting. You can see right there that the core is now more ready to go. 4 of those from here to here. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw my front arm down, palm facing up. I'm going to come into a side angle, but a higher side angle. Keep those glutes squeezed, keep the hips open. Let's take 2 more deep breaths here. And then come back into your warrior two. Straighten out the front leg. Flip the front palm. Now draw forward. Draw, draw, draw. Stay lifting. Reaching the bottom arm down towards the ground, lifting that top arm towards the sky. Option to lift and extend, or option to stay down and extend. Find the connection with the feet. 2 more deep breaths. And come back to your warrior two. Release our arms. Come back to center. So today, we'll feel a little bit of a storm in our legs. We're going to do some sun and some moonflowers. Inhale up. Exhale down. Inhale up. Reach for the ground. But what we want to do is find that calm again within the storm. It's a little bit of a quieter, a little bit of a slower practice, but really putting the intention on feeling your body, on being present within your body. One more time, elbows towards the hips. Let's come back to our warrior two. So turning the toes, opening it up. Feel free, if you need to go a little lower, then that's fine. You don't always have to be as low as you possibly can. You might sink into the hips when you're that low. Warrior two. Breathe. Mindful again. Don't drop. Lift, lift, lift. Lift out of this hip. Lift up. Doesn't have to be low. Breathe. Take 2 more deep breaths. Coming into our side angle, lowering the hand down, reaching the other up, staying open. Nice long line from here to here. Try not to collapse. Lift. Lengthen. Two more deep breaths. Draw this shoulder here, back. Come back to your warrior two. Straighten out the leg, flip the palm. Bend that knee, draw forward, reach forward, lift to the sky, reverse warrior. Take your other hand down. Option to straighten out the leg, give it a little bit of a break if you need that. Squeeze the glutes. Back to our warrior two. Let's come back to the front. Turn the toes off to the sides, sun and moonflowers again. Inhale up, exhale down. Inhale Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. Inhale, rise. Exhale, down. Now we are going to twist. So from here, let's turn our body so that we can come into a high lunge posture. Come down. Lift and lengthen. Okay. Stay here in our lunge. Take our hands, palms together. Inhale, lengthen through the spine. Exhale, draw the body forward. So we're finding much, much more of a balance. From here, we're going to twist. And remember, we twist just below the ribs on the exhale. So deep breath, inhale. Exhale, twist. Take the left hand down, or whatever arm is lower. The other hand toward the sky. Continue to twist. Holding this for 4 more deep breaths, feeling that strength, that length. Option to take your hand behind your back, place it in your back pocket, open up a little further. Create a fist with that bottom hand. So we feel that gravitational pull, but lengthen, lift up through your opposite shoulder. Let's come back through to the center. Take the palms together, lift all the way up, turn back towards the front. Keep toes out to the side, inhale, rise. Exhale, sink. And again. And sink. One more time, drawing elbows to hips. Come back up. Rotate. Lunge, opposite side. Get nice and high and ball that foot if you can. Adjust yourself. So try not to have that foot all the way down. Lots of pressure in through the ankle there. Lift up. Lengthen. Whoa. Fall over. Take the hands into prayer. Into Anjali Mudra. Draw the body forward. Remember, keep the equal amount of pressure through the back leg and the front leg. On the exhale, twist just below those ribs. Find your twist. Take the opposite hand down, other arm towards the sky. Another beautiful option, take it behind your back. Twist a little further, 4 more deep breaths. Create that fist if you like. One more deep breath. Let's slowly rotate back to the center. Take the hands together, lift up. Come back to that open space again. Release your arms down. Couple more of those sun and moon flowers. Exhale down. So you might feel yourself heating up, even though not really moving fast. Let's come back up. Let's step our feet close together. We're going to do a twisting, standing, balancing pose. I'm going to do our Apanasana first. I'm going to lift up this leg. Here's a nice option if you have a block to lift through the leg, but to place the foot on here. Just be mindful that when you do that, that you don't do this, that we stand tall. Not the opposite way, tall, okay? You can do that. From here, let's bring our arms out. Find the balance. Now grab on to the outside of the leg. Reach the other arm higher, shoulder height. Deep breath, inhale. And on the exhale, twist. You can hook the fingers around that leg if you like, but stay standing tall. Flex through that foot that's flying in the air. That's going to help to give you a little more stability. One more deep breath. And come back through center. Lower that foot down and shake it out. You'll find that if you gaze at one spot, you'll find that your balance might be a little bit more spot on. Okay, so we're going to take the other leg up. Stand nice and tall. Lift and lengthen. Draw up. Slight little tuck through the chin. Very, very slight. Hands out to the side. Maybe you stay right here. This is beautiful. Keep your foot on the ground. It's perfect. Lift up if you can. Draw the hand to the opposite side of the leg. Doesn't have to touch quite there just yet. Find a speck on the floor to focus on. But now you're going to have to change it as you inhale, lengthen. Exhale, twist. Reaching the other arm up. Remembering that. The leg doesn't have to come high at all. In fact, sometimes if it comes too high, we lose our hip alignment. So stay here for 3 more. Deep breaths. One more. Back through center. Slowly lower it down. Yeah, shake the leg down. So know this, you are human. We are all human. You may not be able to stand in perfect balance every single day. You may not be able to do it for very long at all. And guess what? That's okay. It's okay to slip. It's okay to fall. But guess what? You can get back up again. Okay? One more standing, twisting, balancing pose. And this is an extension of the one that we just did before we come into a little bit of a restful place. So I'm going to lift up here, open up the hip. So stay open with the hip. I'm going to reach my hand to grab onto that big toe. Remember in our boat, when we had our first two fingers in between our big toe. And then from here, I'm just going to extend a little bit. So now I'm already in this twist. This twist just kind of happens, right? Stand nice and tall. Let's take another deep breath. Take your arm out to your side if you like. The leg doesn't have to go straight. And then slowly release. Some days this one is like, wow, it's spot on, the leg can be straighter, I can come into a huger twist, huger. Other days, not so much, and that's okay. So I'm gonna come back here, do the same thing on the opposite side. Remember, option to just come back to here to create that twist if you prefer. Grab onto the foot. Remember, you don't have to, you can hold on underneath the leg. And we're gonna extend through that leg, stand up and really, really tall. The hips nice and square as you possibly can. This leg, the standing leg, doesn't have to be straight. Take 2 more deep breaths. And then slowly begin to release. Step the feet nice and wide. Shake out those hips. Turn the toes to the side. Inhale, rise. Exhale, fold. Wide straddle fold. Come down into the Malasana as you did yesterday. We did that Malasana. We're going to finish our practice today. Instead of being in Shavasana, we're going to go into a nice wide child's pose. So we're going to come all the way down. Big toes together, knees nice and wide. We're going to take our hands this way, place our forehead on the backs of the hands. Very grounding, really gets into the hips. And we're going to take 10 deep breaths right there. So when you're ready, I invite you to come into that position. And let's breathe. Let's draw our attention back to our breath. Releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth. Let's take 2 more deep breaths right here, sinking into your hips, sinking into your body. When you feel ready, begin to wiggle through your hips, wiggle through your head. Maybe just draw the hips forward and back. Maybe take the knees, bring them a little closer together, rock through the hips from one side to the other. Turn the head from one side to the other if you wish. Enjoying. So as we massage our head, moving our head from one side, it allows us to settle that overthinking, those extremely active thoughts that are constantly flooding, constantly flowing. We need that little bit of a break. So enjoy this, bringing the head from one side to the other. Whenever you feel ready, come up into a seated posture. But take your time. If you're missing your Shavasana, then please go into it. Go into your Shavasana, enjoy, play around with it. But you don't always have to. So if you're doing this practice in the morning, then I don't always do Shavasana, especially if I'm practicing in the morning, because we're kind of ready for the day. So we might do a different option for Shavasana. Still take that time to rest and digest. Still take that time, especially if your practice is more active, to be able to allow your body to just go, still take that little bit of time.
But in the evening is when you might want a longer Shavasana, where you might want an easier practice. So don't suggest to do these little yoga snaps too late at night, because they can still be very heating in nature. They can still be very active in nature, even though they're just tiny little treats. They're not too long. So just be mindful of that. Let's take the hands together into prayer. The awareness in me honors the awareness in you. Off the mat, I invite you to be conscious in your own body. Be aware of your own body. Notice. Namaste. Thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you again on day